8 here, Big 550, KTRS. Talk a little Brenda Talent with us. She is CEO of the Show Me Institute. Good morning, Brenda Talent.
Good morning, McGraw.
All right, let's talk about the City TIF Commission is back at it again. What's going on this time?
Okay, well, does this sound familiar? How about a TIF for a festive marketplace with a bunch of food choices, retail, and office space? Does that sound familiar to you at all?
What is going on?
The City Foundry has gone to the TIF Commission and asked for over $19 million in TIF. I mean, they've got a whole panoply of credits that they want. They want federal historic tax credits, state tax credits, brownfield credits, and then TIF. They want to create taxing districts, all to renovate and restore the City Foundry, which will have this festival marketplace with a bunch of food choices, office space, and retail, which sounds a lot like Union Station to me. And we know how well that went, right?
Has anybody ever done a study after a TIF has been given to see if it actually does any of the things they actually say it does?
Well, there have actually been a lot of studies on that, which show that they don't. But here's another interesting fact. St. Louis Development Corporation had commissioned a study to look at all the tax incentives in the area. And over the past 15 years in the city, we've given away almost $1 billion in tax subsidies without any material benefit to us. This independent organization actually recommended to the city that instead of doing these piecemeal tax subsidies, that they really ought to look at the entire picture. And right now, even with that report coming out, they're still not looking at the big picture. It's like you go to the various entities and you say, oh, I've got a good idea. And then they go, oh, okay, well, let's see what we can do about that.
You're telling me over the last 15 years, the city of St. Louis has given away $1 billion, almost close to $1 billion in TIF or some type of tax subsidy to build or to move or to come to the city of St. Louis.
Without any showing of any material benefit. And that's a fairly common result from the studies that have looked at these kind of tax subsidies, because bottom line is, if it's really such a great investment, private investment would come in and do it.
Right. And the thing about whether you're building a building for a food court or this or that, you're taking existing people who are in the area and they're going to lunch on one side of the street, so you subsidize the guy across the street. Okay, now they're going to go to the guy across the street. You're not bringing in any new actual people who are going to buy lunch at that new restaurant.
That's exactly right. And at the same time, you are burning your revenue base because you're taking money out of the stream that you ordinarily would receive.
Right. So I thought the geniuses down in Jefferson City did away with all this TIF stuff.
No. What they did was they reformed TIF within the metropolitan St. Louis area, but that reform doesn't get at this kind of proposal.
Gotcha. So they still... Boy, they're good, aren't they? They find their ways. They are really good.
Right. Well, and in this one, the TIF Commission is recommending it. I mean, that's the key. If they recommend it, they move forward.
Right, because the TIF Commission, especially in the county, oftentimes years ago, the TIF Commission would deny it, but the TIF would still go through.
That is correct.
Yeah.
And the other interesting thing is, it does seem like every week now we get a new proposal, whether it's Ballpark Village, whether it's the NGA, whether it's McKee's North Side, or whether it's light rail. I mean, the city's just coming up with a lot of plans for tax subsidies.
Brenda Talent, CEO of the Show Me Institute. Where can we find out more?
ShowMeInstitute.org.
Brenda, have a good week.
You too.
All right, 8:42.